right. What is up? What is up? Okay. So, this evening, I am going to be talking about the three types of networks. Okay. And so the three types of networks that you should always be aware of, and you should have all three. You should be participating in all three. Now, do we always? No, but should we? Yes. And so I want tonight for us to really talk about the three types of the three main types of networks, and then how you can start to make sure that you're incorporating more and more of those into your intentionality when it comes to networks. Okay. All right. So the first one is an operational network. Okay. So the first type of network you need is an operational network. And those are the people who you work with, right? Easy enough. The people you work with. If you are in your own business, it's the people that help you to do things for business. If you work for a corporation, it's the people you work with. It's the individuals and the people who you talk to and with the most, right? That helps you to do your job or to do some tasks in your job or to help you fulfill the overall responsibilities of your jobs. Okay. And so these kinds of people, they are usually the kind of people that help you to do, like I said, day-to-day stuff, right? They are usually like team members, immediate family members, I'm sorry, immediate like supervisors, right above you, right below you, right? Or the people that, if you're in your own business, the people that work for you, the people that you are asking to help you for like contracting and things like that. And so their job, right? Their job is to in this case, to facilitate, right? To facilitate. Usually, if you're networking with them, it means that, there's some day-to-day that you've got to do and they can help you to get that done, right? And so that type of networking and to network for that purpose is very important because we all work or are working in some kind of capacity, even if it's for our own business, right? And we need to have that operational networking, right? Just knowing that we need to be overall and generally networking out here in these streets for what people when it comes to business things, right? The things that we need in any part of our business relationship. It may not necessarily be what I do on an everyday basis. It could be the people that supply my red glasses, you know what I mean? But it's anything that helps you do your day-to-day tasks and stuff like that, or anyone, like you should be always looking or thinking or looking to connect dots that maybe you've never even seen before or thought about before, right? And the reason why is because you want to make sure that you are taking care of or you are considering, right? Considering all aspects. But we don't know if we're considering all aspects. We have no idea. The reason why networking is good is because it allows diversity, it allows versatility of thought, right? It allows multiple people to have a weigh in on these things, right? And so that's what allows that is what actually, that is the byproduct of networking, right? You've got a basket now of a lot of different people, different experiences, different cultures, different people that they know, and now that it has extended your web, your network, and you could have never done that before, but it's still within a certain job capacity. Okay, all right. So the second way, right, the second type, I should say, of network is your personal network. Okay, your personal network. Now, this is completely opposite of your business network, right? That is, like I said, anything on that chain, anything on the supply chain of how you do business, you make money, you get those coins, whatever it is, right? But this one is just the exact opposite. This one is all personal, no business, all personal, right? And so this one is your personal connections. It is your the things that you love to do, like your interests, the things that you love to do, your hobbies and stuff like that, regardless of anything professional. So that's what this is, personal stuff. Okay. So your personal network, it needs to be you should be looking to network in groups that satisfy your personal network, right? We started with the professional, now it's personal, right? And so me, I like lifting weights, right? I like eating healthy. I'm a vegan, so I'm a fool around with other vegans, or at least people that can appreciate me being a vegan, and have nice restaurants for all people and things like that, right? Being inclusive. And so these are the things that I'm going to gravitate to, right? Okay. And so those are the things that you should be looking to network, same things, right? Family members and stuff like that, common values, things that you can derive out of them. And that personal network, it still matters, right? And so because that personal network, you think about all the way up to, like, if you're trying to get venture capitalists, like rounds of funds, usually that first round of funding is done by your family and friends. That's usually what it's called. It's called a friend and family round, right? And so you think about that, you think about who is in your friends and family network, and even if they could, like those types of connections, it matters. And so it absolutely matters, how you pour into them, right? And so it absolutely also matters that you're intentional in getting them, okay? That makes sense? You feeling me? It's important because if you're not intentional on expanding your personal network, okay, so recreational activities, that's something that you like to do, right? And within your recreational activities, you met some people, and those people are now just friends or associates of yours just within that recreational activity, right? That's an example of expanding your personal network. Or, same thing with anything like school. You go to school, you expand your relationships with your personal network. If you pledge a sorority, or you play sports or anything like that, right? And so you should be looking as an adult, when you're going out and networking, when you're actually being intentional on going outside and talking to other adults, right? Just for the intention of connecting, you should make sure that personal connections are also there, right? Most of the time, a lot of us think of networking and we're only thinking in terms of the business aspect of it, right? Corporate, networking so that we could, possibly get another job, get an opportunity, know somebody that knows someone, and things like that. And that is always true, right? But it's not only in the aspect of corporate, right? And so the third one, okay, so that leads me to the third one, the third and final network that you need to have, right? The type of network that you need to always be doing when you go outside, right? When you need to be focused and intentional, is a strategic network. Okay. Now your strategic network, this is my favorite type of network, y'all. It's my favorite type of network, mainly because it creates you in order to get the strategic network, you gotta sit down and create a plan. And I love creating a plan. Y'all know me by now. And so that's why this is my favorite one, right? Because this one looks at what your goals are, who you want to be, who you are, your aspirations, the things that you're looking to do. And it puts all of that together, and it completes a journey mapping for you, right? And it says, okay, well, based on these things that you want to do with your life, these are the types of people that you need to, you need to be messing around with, fooling around with. This is who you need to be in contact with, right? And so I'll give you an example. Say, for instance, you say, you know what, next year my business, I want to make $500,000, right? I want to make $500,000. And so I said, oh, baby, you need to pull up. You need to pull up all the way when it comes to your network right now. Okay. You see that, right? The first thing that you're going to do, in order to do that, right? Because you don't know who house to go to. You don't know how to just pull up to a better network. You can probably say, Coach, can I come with you? And I'm probably look at you like, no, you ain't ready yet, right? So, like, how do you do that? Well, that gap, there's a gap in between that. And that gap is what you're creating. You're creating a plan for that gap, how to get closer to that, right? You can't just get up tomorrow and say, man, my strategic network about to be lit. Let me go find out. You'll find out real fast that it doesn't work like that. Right, that's what you're gonna find out. And so what you got to do is you've got to be intentional on this. And so the other ones, they, in my opinion, they just kind of on cruise control. they just kind of on cruise control because it is honestly a no-brainer. As long as you are thinking in a way that says, okay, well, I'm a professional. Let me go and look at other professionals and deal with the network and learn them and connect with them, right? If you're thinking like that, you get that, right? On my personal level, if I go play soccer at 6 o'clock on Friday evening, it's probably good for me to know some other soccer buddies, some things that I can get along with, get down with on the other, outside of work. For me, I love shooting pool, things like that, right? So you get that. But the strategic network, that, in my opinion, is where it all is no longer on autopilot. That's when you are driving that thing manual and it's intentional on that manual. Like there is no map quests, right? You ain't even able to print out the paper. You got to be very focused and intentional on the way to go because there is no, you got to stay on that plan. You got to stay on that path, right? And so that is the strategic network. And that strategic network, those are people that you strategically choose, right? Intentionally choose on the path, right? On your journey, right? To expand your influence, your reach, to have access to new chances, opportunities, people, see things, right? Whether it's paid, whether you go and hire a coach, you go and hire or find a mentor, you become a mentor, mentee, all of the stuff, like all of these things, right? All of these things is what helps you to create, right? Whatever it is you're trying to create, right? In this case, you're trying to get to $500,000 a year, right? And you've got to be around different people, doing different things, having different habits, right? And your strategic network, right? You creating that plan and saying, these are the things I want to do. Now, who are these kind of people? Where are they at, right? Where are they at? Where are they at? So I can find them, so I can go be up in their face, right? So that I can go and do these things, right? That's what you got to do, but you got to reverse engineer that thing. You're not going to just say, boom, got to go get me a strategic network. Let's see who it is. All right. That's not at all how it works, right? So you've got to be intentional in that. Those are the people that's going to help you to move forward. Those strategic networking opportunities are the ones that you're like, oh man, that person is at a job I want to go to, or man, that person is 3 years into her business or career or entrepreneurial venture, and she has so much knowledge. I wonder if I could be her intern or some shit, anything, right? Like that's what you do. That you resources, information, documentation, like you when you're networking with that particular group, it is like laser focused, right? But you still want to be chill, right? You still want to be chill. You don't want to be dog at the person, but in the same aspect, you're realizing that whereas the other people may have not even been on your list, oh baby, you know who is in that networking room that's on your list for your strategic networking, right? Because you've already looked them up. You're probably looking for them, and if not, you have a script in your head. You have you know the type of conversations that they're having that lets you know that they may be your guy or your woman, right? You know that, and so that is a strategic, right? A strategic network, and so, but you need all three. You need all three. And the reason why I kind of hinted at it earlier, right? When talking about, raising funds and stuff like that. Listen, you would think that if you have enough professional networks that you'd be able to get some money, but girl, no. Sometimes if you got to get your business going and stuff like that, doesn't matter how many professional networks you need, you're going to probably need, right? You're going to probably need that personal network and that strategic network in addition to that thing you think you need, right? And then, say for instance, it wasn't professional, but it was strategic. You sitting here and you got the plan going on and you got all of the people and you know exactly who you're gonna meet up into with all of these things. But then the moment they're looking at you and looking at all your stuff and saying, man, you're hot shit. And then they say, well, who do you know? You don't know nobody else because the only thing you try to do was get them, right? And so your personal networks and your professional networks are lacking. And so the moment they say, okay, boom, 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 you sounding good, but who your people, you like, I've been working so hard on this. I don't, so, there's a need for balance. This is why you need all of them, right? Same thing with the personal, right? If you say, I don't need personal in this, I don't need personal in this, right? And you come into some kind of roadblock when it comes to your professional, because inside of your strategic, you had all of this professional stuff in here thinking you didn't need personal, right? And then God forbid something happens. God forbid you lose that job, you got, reassigned or anything, right? Your income went down and you had to re-strategize how you're going to go back into the market, any of these things. And then you had to go back in and lean on your personal network. God forbid, right? But even not for the worst of the worst, even for the best of the best, even for the best of the best, when you've revamped your business, when you've told the people, when you have done so much, right, to be who you are in this day, and now you're ready to go and proudly and boldly tell all your people, all your personal people, all your people that you have been, your family, your friends, all of these people, like they deserve too. You're ready to go tell them who you are, right? That's on a great note. And all of these things matter. And so networking, right? And finding your network and creating network, it comes from those three prongs. And you really need all three. Hopefully I've showed you why, right? Don't be all chest, no legs. We don't play that up in here, okay? You got to make sure that you are well-rounded. And that is for your personal network, your professional network, and for your strategic network to all be in sync. Dress right, dress. We're talking about making sure that when you are setting yourself up for a networking event or an opportunity, that you're writing that down and you're saying, okay, let me see, let me make sure that I am being intentional on finding this, this, and this. And it may not always be in the same event, but you've got to be intentional on creating those opportunities to make that space for yourself, okay? And that's where all of the true balance comes from, making sure that you create it from the top and not expecting it to just drop out the sky, okay? Balance ain't gonna drop out the sky because that's just not how the world works, okay? If you're doing so much of one thing, you're not even gonna be able to pay attention or see the other thing. So it's important for you to plan both sides before you get busy with either one, because whenever you get busy with either one, it's gonna distract you from doing any of the other ones, right? And so that's why before all of this happened, we back it up, we plan, right? I know I'm going to a networking event on next month, right? These are the kinds of people I'm looking for. And, I may not find somebody in my personal network there, but I may. Once I'm actually talking about the hobbies and stuff like that I have, that's how that could come up. I might. But in the event that I'm looking, these are the things that I'm looking for, right? That's kind of how you say that. These are the types of things or people that I'm searching for inside of my networking opportunity here. And so now we've got to focus. We've got an intention. We're not going in there saying, oh my gosh, it's people, right? We are looking to have conversations. And then if we have that, it may even make us back it up, reverse engineer it, and make a decision on a script or just a few little things we want to jot down so that we know exactly how to get to it, how to get to the things that's going to help us to find who can help us to extend our personal relation, our network, or our professional network, or answer those strategic questions that we came into the networking event in the back of our head with, right? And so I hope that this is helpful to y'all, because when you realize the importance of all three and how you need to have all three, 1, 2, and 3, not just one, not just two, but all three, okay, then you realize how much stronger your network can become. Most women don't have networks. And the reason why is because, man, they heavy in the personal right now. If you're in childbirthing age and years and stuff like that, and you've got young kids, then your personal time is not your own. And so your professional time, that's only work. So when do you actually have time to network, right? After work is usually for those kids and the family, right? And not all the time with everyone, but that could be the case. It could also be the case that an entrepreneur is saying, after my job or after all day, after my job, I don't feel like it, or after all day of my entrepreneurial venture, I don't feel like it, right? And so we've got to figure it out. We've got to figure out the balance here. But there is a need for the balance, because this is how you strengthen that web, and it is strong on all three prongs. We don't need one heavy on one side and one not on the other, right? Because they all play in and they all rely on one another, okay? All right, so hopefully I got something from that. If you did, let your girl know. But 1, 2, and 3, you need all three. There is no one that's more important than the other. And so it's important, and it's on to you. The onus is on you to make sure that you are growing in each of those areas. All right, y'all, that is all I got.